Hey everyone, I know that I did a full open mic earlier today, and usually I don't do another video after that, but we've got some new information that came out afterwards. I probably had about 15 different people send me this information. The first person that sent it to me was Kodiak Moonwolf in my Discord. He looked through the strings that was talking about on the show today, and he noticed that there was a URL in there. So he put the URL into the browser, and sure enough, it was a real URL. So we actually now have the Stadia terms of service. Now, normally I would not make a video about this. However, there is some stuff in here that I think is interesting, is going to spark some debate because everybody is trying to find things that are bad about Stadia. So let me go exactly to the spot that I'm talking about, and that is the restrictions. Now, if you want to see the full terms of service, which they're actually pretty short, like most terms of service that I've seen have been like a thousand pages long. These are actually pretty short, which is very interesting to me. Although there's other links in there that might take you to that stuff. But let's take a look at the restrictions. Restrictions. You paying attention? I hope you are. Use any content in whole or in part as part of any public performance except where permitted using features of the service or where doing so would not constitute copyright infringement. Now, people are hearing that and their ears are perking up and they're thinking it is the end times. Hold on a sec. Does that mean that I can't plug my Chromecast into my capture card and stream wherever I want? Well, let's go on and read some more. They also said, you may not use any stream ripping, stream capture, or similar software to record or create a copy of any content, even if no fee is charged, except where doing so would not constitute copyright infringement. All right. You may not sell, rent, lease, or redistribute access to Stadia. So you can't tell somebody else, hey, I'm not playing today. You can play my account. You're not supposed to do that. And lastly, you may not use Stadia or content as any part, or you may not use Stadia or content as part of any service for sharing, lending, or multi-person use except as specifically permitted by Google. I'm guessing probably through the family plan that we know is going to be coming later. All right. So immediately people are going to glom onto this and they're going to say, holy cow, that means I can't stream to Twitch and I can't stream to Mixer. And if I want to stream, I have to stream through Stadia. And I can see why people would think that, except for two things. Number one, it says right here, except where permitted. I'm sorry, not that one. It says, except where permitted using features of the service or where doing so would not constitute copyright infringement. And then except where doing so would not constitute copyright infringement. So those things right there tell me that it's probably okay to do. That's one reason why I think it's okay to do. The second reason, if you go back to Stadiacast, episode 23, I interviewed John Justice, and I specifically asked him about how can you give us the kind of stuff that streamers like being able to put our camera on the stream, being able to have overlays and stuff like that. And his specific response was, at first, you can just hook it up like you would any other console. You can just plug it into a capture card like you do now, Bill. That's what he said. Not those exact words, but he said you can just plug it in and use it that way. And then later on, we're going to give you the tools in order to fix that. So we have the head of product for Stadia telling us specifically that that's okay. I think that this stuff is in here to cover Google's butts with the publishers. A lot of publishers probably won't let them ship the product not ship the product. They won't let their stuff be licensed on Stadia if this kind of language is not in the contract. And I'm not positive because I have not looked at the PS4 terms of service. I have not looked at the Xbox One terms of service. I have not looked at the Nintendo terms of service, but I'm assuming that they probably all have clauses in the terms of service that are similar to this. I'm willing to bet that that's going to be the case. And if it's not, hey, you know what? I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But I don't think that the sky is falling. I know a lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to say the sky is falling. This is something to be upset about. This is something to worry about. And I personally disagree. I don't think that this is nearly as big a deal as people are going to think it is. The other stuff on here that is interesting, it says purchased content. When you purchase content, you are granted the non-exclusive, non-transferable rights to access the purchased content, subject to the terms and additional limitations listed at the time of purchase or access. The purchase of content means that you are granted an access right for the purchased content through the surface and does not include a transfer or of a property right of the purchased content. But people are looking at this and they're going to say, you don't own your games. And I bet you if you look at the terms of service for any other platform, you're going to see the same thing. All right. What else is in here that's interesting? Well, let's see. Completion of contract. I talked about it a little bit on the show today. Any contract for the purchase and use of content or subscriptions is completed, and performance of this contract begins as soon as you complete the purchase. This means returning is kind of optional for Stadia. They may not let you return stuff based on this, because as soon as you complete the purchase, performance of the contract begins. And if that's the case, that means, bam, you're done. You're not returning. Now, we also saw in those strings that they have ways to return stuff. So I'm not sure what this means. Perhaps that it doesn't apply to pre-orders. So if you pre-order something and then decide, you know what, I don't want it, you can cancel that pre-order and get your money back. But if you buy a game straight up, like on the 19th, you go and you buy Guilt without playing it, you might not be able to return it. I don't know how that works because I am not a lawyer. And if there are lawyers, please feel free. Let us know what exactly this means in the comment section down below. And while we're talking about YouTube stuff, you guys know what you got to do. You got to hit that thumbs up button. You got to subscribe. You got to click the bell. All right. All right. Pre-orders. When you place a pre-order for content, you will receive an email confirming the pre-order only. Your contract for the purchase and use of the content is completed when the content becomes available to you, and you will be charged for the purchase at that time. You can cancel your pre-order. Oh, I already guessed this. All right. You can cancel your pre-order at any time up to the point when the content becomes available. Google will cancel your pre-order if the content is previously withdrawn from sale through Stadia, and we reserve the right to cancel your order in the event that the price changes before your order is fulfilled. So that seems pretty normal stuff. I will say this. I know that Nintendo, they don't like to let you return pre-order stuff. Google is allowing you to. I think that that's a really, really good thing. Let's see what else we have here. Withdrawal rights for consumers based on the EEA. I assume the EEA, I'm trying to think of what that is. I'm guessing European something. That's just a guess, though. Anyway, so withdrawal rights for services, for digital content. Under the law, you have an automatic statutory right of withdrawal from contracts or purchases of the content on Stadia. The same applies when you purchase a subscription for digital content. However, when you make a purchase of content on Stadia, you agree that the content will be available to you immediately, and you acknowledge that as a result, you waive your automatic statutory right of withdrawal. So this is them getting out of the fact that you have to be able to return stuff. I talked about this on the show earlier today. I think that they're going to get sued for this by some European countries. We'll see, though. I'm not sure. I don't have any inside knowledge on that. And again, I'm not a lawyer, just so you know. Family sharing, we see this. Okay, what does family sharing tell us? Well, it says here, certain content and subscriptions may be shared with family members in your household through your Stadia Family Library. Hear that? Stadia Family Library. I like the sound of that. subject to any age restrictions and other listed requirements. Limitations apply, and not all content or subscriptions are eligible for family sharing. So there may be games that are sold that the publisher will say, no, 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 you are not going to be sharing that with your family. This is for you and nobody else. A perfect example would be Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online, you pay for an account, you then play on that account, and you cannot play on that account while somebody else plays on the same account. So you have to have multiple accounts, which means you have to buy things multiple times. This is very, very typical. In order to serve as the family, I don't care about that. Let's see. The corresponding content may only be accessed once at any given time. As such, family members will not be able to access the same content simultaneously using a single license. So what I talked about earlier today, that's out. You're not going to have that same PlayStation model. If you and your friend or your roommate or your son or your daughter or your wife or your husband, if you and somebody else want to play the same game at the same time, you need 2 accounts and you need 2 people to buy it. That's going to just have to be the way it is, which is too bad. I really do like that workaround on PlayStation, but I do understand the publishers want their damn money. All right. Anything else to say to see in here? I don't think that there is, and I think that we've gone on for long enough. Let me know if there's anything here in the terms of service that you notice that jumps out at you as being super important. And finally, I'm going to say this. Keep your eye on this space right here for hopefully very soon an interview with John Justice, Vice President over at Google and head of product at Stadia. All right, so hopefully we're going to talk to him very, very soon. And with that, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.